Do not repeat these attacks. What's shaking, guys? It's Feldy bringing you another Clash of Clans video, and today I am back in our Clan War League, and we are looking at horrific attacks. And guess who we're going to start it out with? That's right, yours truly, kicking off a horrible attack episode, because why not? That's me. Boy, oh boy. Okay, horrible attack. So either use this base layout or don't do what I did. Okay, it's opposite of yesterday's video. So I come in opposite of the town hall, and I bring some bowlers, and I'm gonna try to knock out some of these little buildings along the way and get those guys to kind of do some bowler bounces. And I end up having a ice golem go curse splat right away, which was not what I wanted. And the reason is because I really needed those freezes later on. Sure enough, I have a little bit of a rage, and I'm able to kill some of this core stuff in here. But my bats kind of end up dying to these wizard towers, and I was a little unfortunate in my timing of all that stuff. So had the warden placement. I end up getting this little tornado trap pulled around, and I'm unable to get my Grand War or my Royal Champion in there to get healed. The Grand Warden ends up getting healed instead, and sure enough, she could not take down that Town Hall. Had those healers just switched over to the Royal Champion, she would have been taken out that she would have taken out that Town Hall easily. And yeah, so then I have this lovely baby drag in the clan castle that just absolutely decimated me at the very end. And look at all that trap stuff over there. And when I think I did this live on an attack for you guys, and when I did that, I remember actually thinking, like, I couldn't have changed that attack any. Like, that was the attack, right? But sometimes you end up getting it, sometimes you don't, and you have just ever so slightly the smallest of hairs difference to end up getting a 2-star, 3-star, no star, 1-star, whatever. All right, let's go. We're gonna go and look at Nutcracker's base right up here, and it was a 95% 1-star. So I thought my 78% was bad. This is a 95% 1-star. So super crazy. Just an absolute mess. Guy comes in basically from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and he's going to do the loons and the dragon E-spam. And he's got his stone slammer in there. Now, the Nutcracker has a halfway decent base, but it is still like Town Hall 11, 12 defenses. So sometimes like 9. So, it's not the strongest of bases. It can't withhold a ton of damage, but look at how trapped that town hall is. Now, can you imagine if he actually would have just come in from that area and just was able to take out all that trap? Then all he had was nothing at the end. Yeah, so this guy, he ends up having one last freeze, and he's got the single target Inferno that locks onto the Royal Champion, which was absolutely huge because she's about to take down everything else. That Town Hall absolutely just roasts those E-Drags. Those E-Drags still manage to get a couple more pieces of damage dealt to those buildings, gets a couple more damage percentage, but it still does not matter because it's still going to be a 1-star at the end of this. Check this beauty out. Look at that. Boom, 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 and this last little E-Drag can't do anything but get one more little building down, which is going to be that barracks. And sure enough, it goes down, and 95%. It almost was like a 98% with that little lightning splash damage from the E-Drag at the very end. Okay, let's go ahead and go to day 3. We're going to go, and I'm trying not to show horrible attacks from my own clanmates because these guys I go to war with, and they are my brothers and sisters, but sometimes you just gotta laugh at some of these replays. Okay, so our number 2 goes up against their number 2 in defense, and this was actually my home village for a while. I don't know if you guys remember this one. I kind of created it as like a semi-trap base, and it ended up working here. It ended up getting absolutely smashed day 7, so don't use this base, by the way. But this is actually kind of funny because he just enters the base wrong, right? Like the whole point is that this is the trap area where you're supposed to enter in, and he does it. So he ends up entering into the trap area. He's gonna queen walk it and try to get some of this. That, by the way, that ice golem did absolutely nothing down there, which was rather amusing. So queen walk, and then he's gonna start putting some of his troops down here in a second. And yep, there you go. So she needs to use that rage, and she ends up using her ability because the queen was locked onto her. So we've got the royal champion just chilling up in the top, and the queen is going to keep walking around. Now, all of that is said because the whole reason why I created this layout was so that you have all these like heavy-duty buildings surrounding all these other like actual defenses, and the defenses themselves is what you're trying to pit yourself up against. And sure enough, that queen goes down to that multi-target inferno because, again, healing does not go through with infernos. So you can heal, but like the inferno is so strong, it really does not do much good. Okay, so the healers switch over to these bowlers. The bowlers get a little bit of a blast from those bombs, and they're just all going to kind of use those bomb blasts, and then they just keep getting blasted. And now the spring traps kind of come in, and now the fun begins, where literally the rest of the base is just essentially defenses and not those trash buildings. The queen literally just cleaned up the trash, and all the defense is left to your destructiveness. And sure enough, it's super awesome. That little, did you see that scatter shot splash damage just annihilate that wall breaker that tried to enter in? And then there's literally no hope left. It was just that ice golem left, and 44%, not even a star. That is the kind of stuff that I absolutely love. All right, we have another really great defense from my mom, and this one is the same base layout that my dad uses too. And so you saw how one person crushed this base, and now you get to see how somebody actually cannot crush this base. And it really has to do with troop comp and where you go in, right? So this guy ends up deciding that he's going to try to break through the 2 layers of wall just to get to that one little area. Now, really bad idea. If you would have just broken into that one section, you would have had access to all of that area. But instead, he's trying to come in and do too much with how much is actually going to, because it's funneling your troops into that area right here, and you're not going to be able to recover once all that damage is dealt to you. So if you're able to get that defense to spread you out, then you're able to get to that defense. But he was pinched, and that defense was able to splash damage and really pinch him. So my mom's base ends up here getting a really, really, really well job with D, and then ends up, they just barely get that town hall. But that would have been an absolute epic fail. I don't know what is going on with, there was a little archer up here, and I think he was just going to try to get extra damage, but he ends up getting just a little bit extra, and then that Inferno Tower zaps the archer. So there you go. Great, great defense from my mom. We're going to go to day 5. Frank's base ends up having some really good defense, and the mirror attack from number 5, he ends up only getting 1 star. Now, Frank's base is a ring base, which I showed you in yesterday's video, how to actually destroy a base that is a ring base. From, I think, Cloud ended up doing that. Frank had a lot of really good attacks, too. You know, we all really tried to do some good attacks, but, you know, in the end, we just couldn't compete with the mismatched amount of town halls that we had, which was one of the reasons why I really hate what we do in Clan War League. Okay, so as you can see, those E-Drags just died off super quick because there was so much splash damage. This single target Inferno is really, really helpful. Single target Infernos are, I think, the way to go, my friends. They're with the heroes and everything else in the game now. I just think it's so hard to actually really utilize the correct amount of I guess power, and so having that Inferno tower that can just build up and take out a hero instantly is it's a super nice luxury, because a wizard tower clearly will not take out a hero at all. So just barely getting that 50% against Frank's base. Now let's go ahead and see. We've got let's see who. Oh yeah, Dirty's base had a really nice attack. I actually was writing some notes and it says Diddy and not Dirty because I was typing. So anyway, okay, so this guy comes in and he's gonna try to just kind of do the let's go linear line and attack with the E-Drags. The problem is you really need to send in balloons first when you do that kind of attack style. So what ends up happening is that Black Air Mine gets to that guy. The Warden comes in. Now he's fighting an Air Sweeper. He does end up freezing, but the Town Hall does end up still zapping a whole bunch of those balloons that end up getting trapped into that tornado trap. Then it keeps getting swept over to the side, as you can see. So what ends up happening is now they're all clustered at the bottom, and guess what? You've got a whole lot of splash damage. You've got a whole lot of Clan Castle troops to mess with, and you've got the Eagle just absolutely going ham. So yes, that was an absolute epic fail, and yes, I can appreciate when you're attacking and you see this and you're like, what just happened? What just happened? And you just freak out and you're like, seriously? But it is a very well done defense from Dirty. And Dirty was actually the very last attack that we had in our war. He ended up just kind of within the last 30 minutes making his attack, and we ended up still losing, not because of him, but it was just coincidence that he was the last attacker, and I'm showing you him right now. All right, let's go and let's see. Oh, yeah. Yay, day 6. I've got my base. Oh boy. Okay, so it's my base, and then I'm gonna show you this. This is I showed you how to 3-star this one, and now I'm going to show you how not to attack this. So this guy sends in an earthquake, but he forgets that when you do that, you need to come in to the area that the earthquake is actually at. So he comes in down from the bottom. He doesn't have a wall wrecker. He's got the jump, but he thinks that that's going to be a really good method. But the problem is there's still one more wall. So the Yetis come in, and that, I don't know what happened with that. The ice golem, he ended up dying, obviously, but like, he didn't put his troops down quick enough to where it could actually do anything. So when you're using those ice golems, you gotta put them down and then follow your troops in. Otherwise, you're not gonna end up getting a very viable use out of that ice golem, as you saw right there. So he comes in, he's able to, take out quite a good chunk of the base just because the Yetis are so strong. He's got the Warden's ability that he uses right now, but he does end up getting the Clan Castle troops lured out, and then I've got my baby drag that just absolutely crushes that P.E.K.K.A, which was fantastic, and then all the rest of the little archers that are following come out, and they are going to lure most of these troops over, and then guess what happens? That freeze comes off, and the Yeti ends up going down, the Warden ends up going down, and these Yetis are still trying to fight off 10 archers, which is fantastic because that's exactly what that is supposed to do. Look at how much health is on that town hall. Just a sliver of it. And as you can tell, my Clan Castle troops are trying to come in and save the day. The archer queen gets distracted and then ends up going after that bomb tower, but ends up not getting it, and that, my friends, is the difference between great Clan Castle troops and great placement of spells and luring out the Clan Castle and not. So rule number 1 is always lure the Clan Castle, except in Town Hall 13 and 12 we've basically been able and conditioned not to have to do that because we can do spells and freeze them, and there's a lot of things that we can do. Okay. Speaking of horrible attacks, we're about to end on mine, yeah, it's just bad. And this I did live on my live stream, and I thought I had it down to where I was going to be able to get this done. I really actually did think that this was going to at least give me a shot to get into the core, but my Stone Slammer just ends up dying really way too soon. I should have used a wall wrecker. I should have had some kind of wall breaker or something to get into the core. Instead, I end up not being able to use anything. The queen walks around the outside of the base. The bats just kind of go around meandering uselessly and end up just kind of taking out just a few of those. The Royal Champion ends up getting slayed by those single target Infernos. This is an absolutely beast of a base layout. It's just like how Cloud attacked. You gotta make sure that you get all your units down and you know how to actually utilize and get an exit strategy. Have a jump spell or something right there to get into the town hall because, it was just a really bad attack. And it was a bad attack, because I ended up doing this live on the live stream, and that is even worse because my ego was so bruised after that. I just ended up leaving the live stream. I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay, we have one more attack left. My queen ends up just kind of taken out just a little bit, but she can't end up getting back into the base quick enough and without getting too much damage dealt to her before she dies. 72%, 1-star, awful attack. Maybe you can use that base layout. Okay, I've got one last attack, and it's going to be on JB's base. And it's a Town Hall 12, and this is a Town Hall 12, a Town Hall 13 attacking this Town Hall 12, and it's a 1-star, okay? So, I don't know how this happens. Sometimes it's just luck, sometimes it's just an awful attacker. So, really, that's the fun of this game is you just never know sometimes when you really put lots of thought into something and then you try to execute it. Sometimes it's just not good enough because you might not be familiar enough with the attack style. So you always have to practice. You always got to be practicing in your attacks. That's why you want to be attacking every day. I have a feeling that that's exactly what happened with this person with the attack strategy that they were using. So if you notice, they tried to cut, but they didn't cut enough. And then when they do end up coming in, the P.E.K.K.As just kind of start tanking. What he should have done was probably place the Ice Golem right away, and then you can probably see here that everything is just all clustered up. I don't know why the Grand Warden's ability was used right there. That was way, way too soon. You've got all this core power about to come your way, and you didn't even end up needing to do that because you know you're about to get blasted by all this core. And so here you go. Here comes the Clan Castle troops. The core of this base is just about to absolutely wreck this guy, Ice Stalker. And yeah, the only thing that I would say is, man, if you would have used your Warden ability later, you probably would have 3-starred this base, but you didn't, and that is the consequence. A 1-star, and but a nice percentage, needless to say. But yeah, that town hall is still up. It's still at full health, and the clan castle troops are still up as well. The bats are gonna go down to that wizard tower. The freeze did not do anything, and that, my friends, right there is an absolute rookie mistake. You do not want to be placing your bat spells right next to a splash damage. That is a massively brutal mistake right there. These wizards, they are about to get snockered by that E-Drag. I can't help but to laugh at that. It's just too funny. The E-Drag's basically full health, and you have 3 little wizards that are standing there like... So, what else can you do? Alright, we're just going to fast forward this because it's kind of funny. The Ice Golem's obviously going to die. The Ice Golem's obviously going to freeze everything. And then you've got some minions for cleanup that absolutely get annihilated. You've got a little archer over here that's just about to get absolutely slammed by these balloons and the E-Drag. Splat, time runs out. There you go. Alright guys, that does it for you. Don't do what we did with these attacks. For everybody that it was in this video, mainly myself, I always like to poke fun at myself. But seriously, practice your attacks. Practice, 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 practice. I can't say it enough. Do friendly challenges. That is the entire point of friendly challenges. Have your clanmates build some bases right now for next clan war that will get you prepared for Clan War League April, which should be an update change. Alright guys, till next time, Feldy, peace.